Hello everyone, I'm Sir Kneif. Welcome back to another late night or early morning vlogs. It's 2:30. I just got done making the close call vlogs, and I wanted to make another vlog discussing school system and reading and writing. So I hate reading and writing. Can't stand reading, not stand writing. Which is kind of ironic. I think I mentioned it in my vlog about I was attempting to write a book. I can't stand reading, can't stand writing, I hate them, despise them. I just can't. I can't do it. I can't stand it. And the reason, at least I think, and it could just be a mental thing. I'm just pushing the blame on something else. But I mean, this is what I honestly believe. Being in the school system for about 5 years is when it really hit about how stupid a lot of things were in the school system. I went through kindergarten through up to 5th grade in elementary school. And, it's kindergarten shit, but we still did work. I was in advanced classes and shit, and but I don't think I have ever experienced so much joy being around a bunch of random people and stuff. Even when I got to 5th grade and shit, and things started to get a little awkward because we all hit 10 years old, we started growing a bit more. But they had amazing teachers at the elementary school. Very nice students and things like that. Everyone respected each other, and we did fun stuff and we did hard things, but it was nice to learn. And then I hit middle school, and that's when middle school literally fused with 4 other elementary schools worth. So I grew up with this set of 35 to 40 people, and then all of a sudden there's now 190 of us. So it was a big ass jump. Okay, so that was weird. And I got into school and I started noticing things were really weird. And I think words. I cannot have words, man. And here I am trying to do this early in the morning. The biggest thing that I realized that got ruined for me was reading and writing. I used to enjoy reading and writing, especially in elementary school. I used to have a speech impediment and I could barely speak without stuttering. I mean, shit, you can probably tell I barely got over it. But I went to classes and shit, and I got better with it now in kindergarten. And that from there, my desire to read evolved, and I never disliked writing. Now, I never preferred writing, but I never disliked writing. I kind of enjoyed writing about myself and my life because I'm egotistical, but I was never really against writing. And I was always picking out a new book every other week or every week, depending on what grade I was in, to read from school library and shit like that. And I got to middle school. And that's when things changed. We were forced to read specific books, talk about and write about specific people. Now, for the first year, perfectly fine. The biggest thing we talked about, and it didn't make sense to me why we had to do it, because we learned about segregation with blacks and whites, during, I think it was the 60s, 70s, like Rosa Parks, when those 6 or 7 high school students got put into the full white school. We learned about Greensboro 4. I think those were that. These amazing people who did amazing things. And that's good. We talked briefly about them in elementary school, but we're in elementary school, and going from elementary school to middle school is a big fucking jump, and no one tells you that. It's a big step up. And not a big step up is oh my God, it's all these different students and shit. It's a big step up just for some of the topics you discuss. We went from just basic history stuff to just World War straight away. 11-year-old me talking about World War and how, millions of people died. So that's a big step in my mind. Anyway, so we're talking about these people. The thing is that we're talking about these people in history class, and then all of a sudden, we're talking about these people in reading class. The same people, same lesson for the most part. Social studies or history would be multiple choice questions for papers and shit, and we would just talk about Rosa Parks and these other people. And we had to, answer correctly. What did Rosa Parks do? She sat on the bus, refused to give a receipt, blah, 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 all this other stuff. And then we got to English. It was the same exact story. We read a book about it and had to write about said person. And again, this is something you should learn about if you live in America. And once that was it, it should have stopped right then and there. We spent the whole year doing it, doing shit we didn't care about and having to be forced to learn. And then we started, after blacks and segregation, we went to Jewish people during World War II. Again, we're learning about this in history class just to turn around and learn about it in reading class. And it was so boring. do it. Again, very important stuff, but when you're literally being told basically the same words twice within hours of each other every day, 5 days out of the week, and you have very similar assignments, it gets very boring very fast. After you get out of 6th grade, I thought it was going to be different. But no, it went straight back to the same thing. Now, it did change up a little bit in history. We started talking about, way before time, like, was it Mesopotamia and stuff, the first settlement, and, the first time China was being built. But reading class for English never changed. It was the same lesson. Now, we did read a few different books, and if the lessons were different, but it was all about the same subject. Blacks and segregation, and then Jewish people, or Jewish people in the Holocaust and stuff, then blacks and segregation. Again, very important topics you should know about, not something you should learn every year. I learned about it 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade, 9th grade, and 10th grade for 5 years straight. After the first 2, I said fuck reading and writing. I could not give a shit. Never wanted to read another book. I stopped checking books out in the library. I tried to get in high school, checked out Dante's Inferno, read the first 2 pages, put it up, and it wasn't even the book's fault. It was just dread in the back of my mind. I was like, oh, it's gonna be the same boring shit. Even though I knew it wasn't gonna be the same boring shit, it was just this kind of natural reflex of just, oh man, because after doing the same stuff for 5 days out of the week for a school year, you get old. And I don't understand why it was so enforced every single time. And I can't fathom why they would do it every year about the same stuff. Like, it's just so weird. And you always hear people talking about, like, school system has so many problems and things like that. And there are a lot of problems. And some of them are very hard, I think, to address and try to please everyone. But there are some things like, how could you teach the same thing for 5 years? It's just something you can't really find. And again, it did change, like compared to 6th grade to the 10th grade year. Yeah, there were bigger words in there that we had to learn about and shit, but it's still the same topic. I could not stand reading about Rosa Parks for the 5th year straight, or learning about those college or high school students who integrated, segregated, whatever, into the all-white school. Again, very important people, but honestly, 5 years in a row, I don't give a damn anymore. I'm grateful that we live in a time where we're past that shit and stuff. I learned that the very first year in middle school. After that, it became boring. And thinking about that and having this kind of mindset, I look at me writing my book. I'm over 20,000 words now. My book, if I was to release it right now, I mean, it's not complete, but it would be classified as a novella in the science fiction genre. I am loving writing my book. Now, I think part of it plays because I'm very egotistical, as I just said earlier. I love talking about myself. I love talking about my own ideas, writing my own ideas and things like that. So I've always daydreamed about different shit, and I've always just thought, and probably thousands and thousands and thousands of thoughts have gone through my brain and out, just left and things like that. And they all probably potentially had a book idea within all of them. And I tried writing. I don't know if it was the beginning of this year or last year. I tried writing a creepypasta called The Whistler. I started writing and things. Hold on, I gotta get a sip. Been talking for so long. So I started writing The Whistler, and it was supposed to be about this creature who, as you could tell from the title, would whistle and different things like that. And it's supposed to be telling from the story of the main character who's in the hospital because people think he's crazy, and he's staring at his window, and every night the monster's getting a few feet closer and closer and closer, and the monster just keeps whistling, keeps him up throughout the night and things. And every night he looks out the window, and it's like, okay, now he's in the parking lot, okay, now he's at the front doors of the hospital, he starts whistling, okay, now he's outside my door, okay, now he's at the end of my bed, and that kind of thing. It's supposed to seem creepy. Again, I was just spitballing an idea and trying to write. The entire time I wrote, it felt like a chore. I could not stand it. And in the back of my mind, it honestly felt like I was in school, and that was such a terrible thing, because writing is supposed to be a creative way to express yourself. It's supposed, you're God in that world, just like paint, you're God. Make what you want to make because it's something you want to see or something you enjoy and stuff. And I spent all those years in an English class that was supposed to teach me how to be creative and express myself and do these amazing things. Like you see all these different authors and different things like that doing. But no, we spent 5 years learning about the same things over and over and over again, and you made children hate it. And I kind of think about that, and then look at me writing my book. I can't believe I don't hate writing my own book. I honestly never expected to make it past 20,000 words. I think we're at 21,196 words. And the book's about 72 pages long. And there has not been a single moment where I have regretted or felt like writing was a chore. I have enjoyed every moment. I've had a few moments where my brain was like, oh, kill me. Can't think of how to, progress from this one point. But I feel like every writer has experienced that before. But it's honestly been such a joy to write. I have never had a whole lot of hobbies. I've tried, fishing. I enjoy fishing, but we don't have a lot of money to go fishing, and we ain't got, much gear anymore because most of our shit, whatever. Gaming has been a hobby, and YouTube's been a hobby. That's been about it. I've never done much. I've never found interest in a lot of hobbies, and to say that I found such a good interest in writing it's a nice feeling. And I can read my own book, as you should, and I actually enjoy writing it, and it's slowly changing my mindset to it. Now, my friend Chandler, or Chan, he has been helping me with, he's my co-writer and he's my editor. He's waiting until I get more finished with the book before he edit, and he's been teaching me how to write better. My writing has significantly increased because basically I used to be a good writer and a good reader. When I got to high school, my reading level was like I was in freshman or ninth grade or whatever. I had like a sophomore in college reading level. Like I had, stupidly high reading level. And then it dropped because I couldn't stand it no more. And my writing used to be decent. I wasn't amazing at writing, but I could write. I could use good words, and it got shit. You could tell that by reading, my creepypasta and reading the start of the book. And he's helped me so much with this stuff. And it's just, he has helped so much, and it's starting to change my mindset. But it still pains me to experience so much joy and then know that I'm still being affected because he sent me a little bit of a chapter that he's writing for an old book. He wrote it like years ago because he has a book idea he wants to do like I have, and he sent me this and I read it, and I know what this is about. I know it's a medieval time book. It's Chandler's chapter. It's probably not going to be boring. I've read his writing. He is a phenomenal writer. I love it. He co-writes for one of the characters in my book. Well, he co-writes for a couple of the characters, but his main character is this character named Dawn. She is a fully sentient AI who is basically very close to being a human. She's developed emotions and feeling, everything like that, whole 9 yards. Anyways, he writes amazing stuff for her and the other characters in the book. And I go to read his thing, and I know that it's going to be something I'm going to like, and still, that natural reflex is just in the back of my head. I dreaded reading his paper. Nowhere near as bad as I used to, but I still dread it, and it's like, why? This is my best friend's paper, a story, chapter. It's going to be interesting. It may be weird. It may not be the best, but it's something I should never dread to read. I should, I stopped everything I was doing to read it. Obviously, I was excited to do it. But just for the fact of all those years, just the same thing, day in and day out, and day in and day out, of just the same boring shit, it has completely ruined everything for me. And that's just, it's something terrible, but then if looking on the bright side, me writing this book has changed me significantly. Now, I may not go off and become a writer, and I may publish this book, and it may not get any awards or anything. But the fact that I took myself and dedicated myself to writing that book, and I'm still writing and all this other stuff, and I haven't lost faith, I haven't got sad or, wanted to quit or anything like that, I'm actually enjoying myself. I'm changing the way my brain naturally perceived reading and writing, and that is such a good thing in my mind. And it's something amazing to see, when you see someone who has this mindset towards something, they manage to change it through just sheer will and determination to do something. I think that's awesome. So, yeah, I guess that's about it. That's my little rant. School system sucks. I'm glad I dropped out. It was the best thing I ever did in my life. I regret that it took me so long to get the GED. I bullshitted around for that, but I'm happy with the way things are now. So I don't think I could have done another 2 years in high school, man. It sucks. If any of you drop out, don't let people shit talk you, man. You study, go get your GED, move on with your life, into college, or don't. Some people think college is stupid. I mean, shit, you need a college degree to get a job that pays $12.99 an hour or whatever. What kind of economy do we live in? What's that quote? I don't remember the quote or whatever. But, yeah, so, just my thoughts. It's just, I don't know. I'm weird. I just think it's fascinating to see a person, like, you're talking a whole 180. I'm still working on the reading someone else's thing, but the whole writing and just reading, I love it so much. I don't think, now that I'm doing it, I couldn't imagine not doing it, because it's so much fun. I'm God, basically, and that plays into the ego. It's like, I'm God, I can do whatever I want. Like, I get these ideas and opinions from my friends who are reading the book and stuff, and I really take their shit to heart, and their voices play a big role in the book, probably more than what they realize it plays. But at the end of the day, like, I still, I get to be God, do what I want. It's just, I don't know, it's so fascinating to write my own ideas out. And that's why I really want to, like, make sure I get this book done and do it right, and just have a really nice book for people to enjoy reading and love the characters, because I love the characters. I do have my own favorite characters out of the book. There's 2 of them that I love over everyone else, but every single character to me is just perfect, and I can't imagine replacing them or getting rid of them in any way, shape, or form. Like, if you took one of my characters out of the story right now, I couldn't imagine the universe, that whole universe in the book, without them. So, yeah, so that's that. Leave a like if you guys enjoyed. Let me know your thought down in the comments below. I'll see you guys in the next episode.